Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Southwest.
Texas Rangers baseball is presented by AT&T UVerse TV. Now, the Rangers able to get a victory last night, breaking a couple of long losing streaks, and a win here this afternoon would guarantee them their first series victory ever against the New York Mets. The finale of this three-game set coming up from Citi Field. And welcome in, everyone, along with Tom Greaves, Steve Busby. Glad you could join us on this Sunday afternoon of Rangers baseball. The Rangers are indeed looking for a series win here this afternoon. One guy they'll depend on, they have for the entire year and his entire career with the Rangers, and that's ADRIAN BELTRE.
No doubt about it, Buzz, and he's a good guy to depend on because he comes through. And he got off to maybe a little bit of a slow start. He had an injury, but since he's come back, he's been the ADRIAN BELTRE of old, just as good as he's ever been. Maybe playing better defensively this year than he was last year. He hit one of the hardest home runs he's hit all season on Friday night to dead center field. Added another one in last night's game to left field. And just like with Robinson Chirinos, who we mentioned in the pregame show, since June 1st, he's been extremely hot. He's also got 6 home runs. He's knocked in a bunch of runs, 26 to be exact, since June 1st. Puts him second in the league in batting average, and I don't know what else you can say about him other than he's been that kind of player ever since we've seen him here.
Yeah, that he has, and he's putting up some numbers now that he will be pleased to have shown up in Minneapolis for the All-Star game when he's introduced. So ADRIAN making that final push for the All-Star game. And we will come back to Citi Field. We'll have more before the Rangers and the Mets hook it up on Fox Sports Southwest. Is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Take the EcoBoost Challenge to see why Ford is the best in Texas. by AT&T UBurst TV. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT, mobilizing your world. And by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. A gorgeous, warm afternoon here at Citi Field in Queens, New York. About ready to get things underway. Before we do, let's send it down to the field. Emily Jones is standing by him.
Well, Buzz, it has been a season full of statistical oddities for these Texas Rangers, most of them not so favorable, and we stumble upon yet another one. Today is for the first time in 20 games. Ron Washington has the same lineup from one day to the next. I asked him exactly what that might mean.
Speaks to the guys I'm running out there, they're staying healthy, and that's what it's about. And you know, the whole key is those that I'm running out there, not only are they healthy, we're hoping that they continue to get better.
Yeah, so Ron Washington obviously has had his hands full this season with all of the moving parts as far as this lineup is concerned. But as I mentioned, for the first time in 20 games, he's got the same lineup from back-to-back days. Of course, that excludes the pitcher here in the National League Park. So we will see that lineup that Ron Washington has for the second straight day. Coming up right after this, it is the first pitch between the Mets and the Rangers in the finale of this three-game series from New York, coming your way next, right here on Fox Sports Southwest.
Field today. To see all the Ranger red and blue again in evidence no matter where we go. And we'll take a look now at the lineup that those guys came out to see. Southwest Airlines brings you the Texas Ranger batting order. SHIN-SOO will lead off. He is in left field. ELVIS ANDRUS at short. Alex Rios plays right field. ADRIAN BELTRE is cleaning things up. He's the third baseman. Leonis Martin in center. Robinson Chirinos catches. Carlos Pena bats seventh and plays first base. Rougned Odor is at second. And the pitcher, Nick Tepesch, hits ninth.
And we'll look at our Sonic scouting report for Zach Wheeler. He's had 17 starts, a losing record, and a decent ERA. Had a good start in his last start Monday at the Braves. Gave up 1 run in 6 1/3. He has walked a few guys, although that's improving, but he does have the 6th most walks in the National League. He's a young starting pitcher, 24 years old. He was the 6th pick in the draft in 2009 by the Giants, and they traded him a little bit after that in a big trade with the Mets for Carlos Beltran. They were trying to win. The Mets were trying to build. They got a good building block starting pitcher for the future here.
That they do. You mentioned Zach Wheeler just turned 24, so he is. Matter of fact, that was about a month ago that he passed that milestone. He is hard-throwing right-hander. We'll take a look at the rest of the Mets defense that will be backing him up today. Brought to you by Progressive. Outfield, NIEUWENHUIS, Lagares, and Granderson, left, center, and right. DUDA at first. Murphy and TEJADA up the middle. And David Wright, who we did not see on Friday night. He was back in there last night over at third. And Anthony RECKER is the catcher, taking care of 24-year-old right-hander Zach Wheeler. A great afternoon here in New York. 85 degrees under virtually clear skies. Maybe a couple of clouds flitting by. Wind out of the west-southwest, about 15, 17 miles an hour. That means it's blowing out toward right field. A SHIN-SOO CHOO will start things off. Rangers come in at 11 games under 500. And CHOO rips through a fastball. It is 0-1.
Well, right off the bat, you can tell you're going to have to tune it up a little bit this afternoon. Zach Wheeler's first pitch popped in there at 95 miles an hour.
And CHOO drives one to dead center field. Going back is Lagares. It's over his head. It's off the wall, and CHOO will cruise into second with a booming leadoff double.
That's kind of exactly what he just did. He swung at the first one 95 miles an hour and might not have been quite ready for it, but he certainly was ready for the second one, because this one came in at almost the same spot at 95 miles an hour, and he turned this around and hit it 395 feet to dead center field on the line. So good start for the Rangers. Had a nice first inning yesterday, trying to do the same thing this afternoon.
Yeah, SHIN-SOO CHOO trying to make a statement, as he did Friday night. Led off that ball game with a home run. This afternoon here, he leads off with a double that probably went further. Well, I don't know. I take it back. It may not have, because that home run
might not have gone as far, but I bet you went as hard.
Yeah, I agree with you. So CHOO at second. Here's Elvis. Andrus hitting at 271. Fouls that first pitch back. 96-mile-an-hour fastball from Wheeler. Elvis, a couple of home runs. 319 the on-base percentage. That is coming up little by little for Elvis. Trying to at least get CHOO over to third base here in the first inning. Rangers, for the first time in a month, have had back-to-back 10-hit games, 10-hit plus games, both Friday and last night, able to get the offense going. And they've scored 10 runs in those two games, too, and that makes a big difference. Split them, but gave themselves an opportunity to get some good things done. Elvis showed bunt on that last pitch and took it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Zach Wheeler, a belt high set. Throws up and in. Wheeler's averaging right at 9 strikeouts per 9 innings. That's about a strikeout per inning. And you go back over the Mets pitching annals, he's only the 5th pitcher with as many opportunities to have that kind of an average. And the Mets, you remember, have had people like, well, Nolan Ryan and Tom Seaver and Doc Gooden, folks like that. Elvis, a slow chopper to short. That's going to get the runner over to third. CHOO able to make it easily, and TEJADA bobbled it a bit, but was able to throw out Elvis. Well, Andrus got the job done. Now CHOO at third with 1 out for Alex Rios.
Bobbled it, but it came right back to him for him to make the play. Wheeler has been much tougher on right-hand hitters this year than he has been on left-hand hitters. Right-hand hitters are hitting 223 against him. Left-hand hitters close to 300.
Well, here in the first inning, the Mets pulling their infield all the way in with 1 out. Rios hitting at 305. He is back in the good graces of the baseball gods. Gone through a little bit of an offensive slump, but he has come out of it now. On base percentage on the way back up at 335. The 0-1 pitch coming from Wheeler. A ball and a strike. Rios 3 for 4 in last night's ball game. That tied his season high with 3 hits. And a double, drove in a run in last night's Ranger win. A 5-3 win over Bartolo Colon and the Mets in the second game. Hard hit right at the shortstop, Tejada, who makes a nice play. And CHOO has to stay at third. There are now 2 outs.
Well, it paid to play the infield in. He hit that ball hard. The shortstop, Tejada, had no chance to go left or right, but he didn't have to because he hit it right at him. One step to the right, catches it on a nice hop. Turns a hard hit ball into an out and leaves the runner at third base. Playing the infield in paid off right there.
We saw Rios hit the ball hard 3 times on Friday night. Had only 1 hit to show for it, but
yeah, one of them went right back at the pitcher.
Yeah, knocked Jonathan Neisser out of the ball game. So 2 gone. Here is Adrian Beltre. Beltre smoking hot, 335 the average, and he takes strike 1. Adrian on this road trip has hit 364. He also has a 9-game streak going. 406 the average over those 9 games. That takes you back to the last homestand. Broken bat and a grounder foul. I think it was a broken bat. Nope, he's got it on the thin part of the bat. And the numbers for Adrian. 11 home runs. He has hit 1 in each of the first 2 games in this series. 46 RBI. And he has number 47 standing down there at third base in the person of SHIN-SOO CHOO. 0-2 the count as Wheeler sets. Beltre, 136 career RBI in interleague play. That's 9th among active hitters. And go back since the start of 2010, his year with Boston, he's gone hit to the tune of a 334 average against National League clubs. Down the right side, and that is going to slice back into the seats and out of play.
He fouled some balls off last night against Bartolo Colon in that one long at bat. The one slider away had to be at least a foot outside and low, and somehow he reached it. And this one might not have been quite as far outside, but you're not going to do anything with those pitches, but it might show that he's in a good enough groove right now that he can even make contact on some of those pitches that are so far outside.
Another 1-2. Another chopper foul.
Yeah, that was a good pitch. You could see the catcher set up inside, and Wheeler ran that mid-90s fastball kind of in on the fist for Adrian.
I don't know how you make contact on that pitch and not break your back.
Yeah.
The numbers on the current road trip for Beltre, the first 6 games of this trip. And our pitch tracker showing the location of Wheeler's offerings. And Adrian spoiling that one is a high fastball that he fouled back. So Wheeler forced to work here in this at bat to Beltre.
Well, when you're taking great swings at 96-mile-an-hour fastballs up and in, and fouling off sliders that are 6 inches low and 6 inches outside, you got some pretty amazing back control and hand-eye coordination to be able to do that. And you must be seeing the ball pretty good too.
And another foul ball. Yeah, and eventually Wheeler's going to make a mistake in the middle of the plate.
Yeah.
And you tell yourself as a pitcher not to do that, especially when you're ahead 1 and 2. But you get a little frustrated when the guy fouls this many pitches off. I mean, a 1-ball 2-strike count. This is going to be your 8th pitch. Got him swinging. It's like a cutter that was up, and Beltre couldn't get it. Leadoff double, left stranded. CHOO left the board. Bottom of the first coming up, no score. This afternoon, and the Mets coming to bat for the first foray against Nick Tepish this afternoon. We'll take a look at the lineup that Gary Collins has put forth. Curtis Granderson leads off. He's playing right field. Daniel Murphy, the second baseman, is next, and it's David Wright, the third baseman. Lucas DUDA, the first baseman, is cleanup. KIRK NIEUWENHUIS is in left field. Juan Lagares is in center. Batting seventh and catching, Anthony RECKER. And RUBEN, the shortstop, bats eighth, with Zach Wheeler, the pitcher, batting ninth.
The Sonic scouting report for Nick. 8 starts, doing very well. 3-3 with a solid .365 ERA. Last start was a while ago. It was against Minnesota, and it was a very good start. 7 1/3, 3 hits, no runs. Career, when he's had 6 or more days rest, he's been very good. 3-1 with an ERA under 3. And he's had long rest this time. He was originally scheduled to pitch Wednesday in Baltimore. Then he was scheduled to pitch Friday here. And finally, he will get to start today on Sunday.
Swing and a miss by Granderson. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, there were a couple of false starts in there that
well, he went from starting on Wednesday to possibly relieving on Friday, and now he's pitching today.
Granderson pulls that next pitch foul. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Granderson hitting just .235, but he has a dozen home runs and has driven in 40. Rangers going to the overshift with 3 infielders on the right side of the diamond. Low and in, that breaking ball down at the back foot of Granderson. 2-2. Tepish out of the University of Missouri in Blue Springs, Missouri. This is high, 3 balls and 2 strikes. 25-year-old Tepish. Even record of 3-3. Last time out, though, his first win in just about a month. So trying to back that up with another good outing. Payoff pitch on the way. Missed it. Ball 4. And while we have a moment here, let's take a look at the Rangers defense. It's delivered to you by DeMontron RV. Outfield with CHOO, Martin, and Rios, left, center, and right. Carlos Pena at first, Odor and ANDRUS up the middle. ADRIAN BELTRE at third, Robinson, Chirinos. Behind the plate, 32 assists this year. That's 6th in the American League for catchers. Well, Granderson at first and nobody out. Daniel Murphy, the second baseman, will step in, and Murphy moved back up to that number 2 spot. David Wright back in the 3 hole, which is the preferred spot that Gary Collins, the skipper, has these two batters. To the outside corner for strike one. Granderson, 6 stolen bases this year in 8 attempts. Tepish, a high set, checks Granderson. This is outside. A ball and a strike to Murphy. Daniel Murphy leading the National League in hits. 104. Make that 105. And he is now second, 7th in the major leagues. 105 hits. To center field, Leonis Martin kind of did a stutter step to read that one and made the grab, 1 out.
In Nick's last 3 starts, he's had 2 scoreless outings. One at Seattle, he pitched 6 1/3, didn't give up a run. The last one against Minnesota, 7 1/3, didn't give up a run. In between, he gave up 4 runs against the A's. So he's been throwing the ball really well. Last year with the Rangers, he had 17 starts. He had a couple of relief appearances. And he got the hang of pitching in the big leagues. He was 4-6 with a 4.84 ERA. And this year, he's shown some signs of development, some signs of improvement. He was great in AAA before he was called up.
Yeah, David Wright hits one to left center field. Moving over to his right. Leonis Martin there to make the grab. And on one pitch, David Wright flies out. 2 gone. Lucas DUDA coming up.
At AAA in 7 starts, Nick was 6-1 with a 1.58 ERA. But he was even better than that in his last 4 starts. He won all 4 of his last 4 starts, and his ERA was 0.35. So after getting his feet wet with 17 starts last year and going back to AAA for 7 starts this year, he was ready and earned the right to come back and start. This will be his 9th start, and it's going really well for him. Less hits than innings pitched, and a couple of scoreless outings in his last 3 starts.
And the first pitch to DUDA is just off the outside corner for ball 1. Rangers with this big guy at the plate, again into an overshift. They had ELVIS and Odor on the right side, back just about the cut of the outfield grass. Anderson at first. 1-0 pitch. That's a little bit low. It's 2-0. Trying to change up there, and that's a pitch that Nick Tepish has said he's really worked on a lot and is starting to get more comfortable with.
I remember we interviewed him after his start against Minnesota, and he said he threw a lot of changeups that day.
Calling card over for Granderson. DUDA, 13 home runs. You see he's reached base safely in all but 1 of his last 12 ball games. 2-0 the count as Tepish gets ready. DUDA in this series against the Rangers, 2 for 5. Is one of those Mets that's hitting much better on the road, almost 100 points higher away from Citi Field. Lines this one to left field. CHOO going over to see if he can't cut it off, is by him and all the way to the wall. That's going to allow Granderson to be waved home. The relay throw is not in time, and sliding in safely is Curtis Granderson on the Lucas DUDA RBI double. The Mets lead at 1-0.
DUDA sliced that ball well, hit it hard. And you know that Granderson can still run pretty well at first base. And so the only way you can keep him from not scoring is to be able to cut this ball off before it goes to the wall. But he hit it well enough, and it's slicing away from SHIN-SOO that he just couldn't get there in time to do that. And the ball gets to the wall. Once it got to the wall, it was going to be pretty difficult to keep Granderson from scoring.
Well, the leadoff walk has come back to hurt Nick Tepish here in the first inning. The 2-out double 1-0 New York, and Lucas Duda at second base. KIRK NIEUWENHUIS is the hitter, and NIEUWENHUIS hitting at .303. Home run, 7 driven in. Big breaking ball is off the plate inside for ball 1. Chirinos go out and have a chat with Nick Tepesch. Get together on what they want to do with NIEUWENHUIS. A lot of times early in the ballgame, you'll have talked about how you wanted to pitch to the guys, and because of how you feel as a pitcher, sometimes that thought will change in your mind before they come up the first time. I think that might have happened with Nick Tepesch. He found out that either the curveball was working better than he'd anticipated, or the fastball wasn't working as well, or maybe the changeup had a little bit better stuff on it. The catcher has no way of knowing what's going through your mind, so go out there and talk about it. NIEUWENHUIS, one of those streaks where 6 of his last 10 hits have gone for extra bases. Pickoff at second. ELVIS darting in behind Lucas Duda. Nick a little slow on making the pivot and throw. Two balls, no strikes, 2 outs, a run across for the Mets. Way inside, almost hit it. 3-0.
It's one of those innings, if you're Nick, you hope you can get out of it with only giving up 1 run and come back after a little rest in the dugout and hope your command improves a little bit. He's thrown 7 strikes and 10 balls so far. Just not able to throw the ball where he wants to, like he did against Minnesota in his last start.
And he misses high, a 4-pitch walk. It's NIEUWENHUIS aboard. And runners at first and second. Juan Lagares will come up. Second walk of the inning for Nick Tepesch. Lagares, a .288 batter, a couple of home runs, 18 RBI. Got Duda at second, NIEUWENHUIS at first. Tepesch peering in for the sign. And this is down and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Lagares, a 25-year-old out of the Dominican Republic. Loop for the center, that's going to fall for a base hit. Duda around third, will come in to score on over to third. Goes NIEUWENHUIS, and Lagares with an RBI single makes it a 2-0 Mets lead. He didn't hit it sharply, but he hit it in the right spot.
Yeah, he hit this ball into left center field off the end of the bat. Martin was shading in right center field, cut fastball. And so by the time Leonis got to that ball, he didn't have a throw home or a throw to third base. If he hit a line drive to right center field, might have been a different story.
A quick visit by Mike Maddox, Ranger pitching coach. Anthony RECKER, the catcher, will be the hitter with runners at first and third. RECKER, a .209 hitter with a couple of home runs and 10 driven in. He has not played in this series. There's the backup to Travis d'Arnaud. Rangers in the infield playing just about straight away. Maybe a step around to the left. The outfield in a similar fashion. Tepesch's first pitch gets the breaking ball over for strike 1. Bad things have happened after the 2 walks that Tepesch has allowed and 2-out RBI double by DUDA. And the RBI single by Lagares. Breaking ball that time settles in. 0-2. The record in his last 3 ball games, gone 3 for 9. Couple of RBI and a couple of doubles. Tepesh okays the sign. The right-hander sets. He will fire one over to first to get Lagares back. That's 2 runs on 2 hits and 2 walks here in the first inning. Now the 0-2 pitch. There goes Lagares, the breaking ball in the dirt. Lagares going to swipe second. Chirinos did a good job of just keeping that ball near home plate. Sounded like it came up and hit in the mask.
Yeah, he tried to catch it. That would have been some kind of play if he caught it and was able to throw it. If he had caught that ball and thrown him out at second base, he would have raised his profile even more. That would have been an impossible catch, but if he caught it, he would have had a shot.
Yeah. As it is, Lagares with his second stolen base of the year. The Mets have 2 runners in scoring position now with 2 outs. Recker waiting and back to the plate. Tepesh misses inside, 2-2. Over at third base, NIEUWENHUIS. Garris, the runner, out at second. Pitch tracker showing that last pitch well off the plate inside. Fouled back and out of play. We'll try it again. For Tepesh, this is his second interleague start this year. Last one was in Washington about a month ago. That didn't go very well. This is his 5th career start against the National League. Start against Washington, Nick only lasted a couple of innings and gave up 4 earned runs. Pop foul. Chirinos over to take a look, but that's just over the screen and back about 3 rows. The other 4 starts, Tepesh is 0-2 with a 747 earned run average. National League clubs have not been kind to Nick Tepesh. Tepesh gets the sign he wants again, the 2-2. High and deep to left field. CHOO going into the corner, and that ball is gone. Anthony RECKER, his 3rd home run of the year, a 3-run blast, and the Mets lead it 5-0.
A little bit like the first inning the Rangers had yesterday when Robinson Chirinos hit a 3-run homer to cap off a nice 4-run inning. RECKER gets a pitch that's supposed to be down and away, and it's up middle of the plate, and he hits it high and deep enough down the line to make it a 3-run homer. The other thing Nick has struggled was is he struggled in the daytime. Most of his starts have come in the daytime, and he has struggled pitching in the daytime. Doing the same thing today.
Pitch to RUBEN is inside. Yeah, that's one of those.
I don't know if that means anything, but
you shouldn't pitch in the daytime.
And, you know, he's had 6 starts now in the daytime and 3 at night. Starts in the daytime, his ERA is around 7. At nighttime, it's .47. That's small sample, and one of those stats that's, you know, interesting to talk about, but does it mean anything? Who knows? You really can't tell unless you got a much bigger sample than that.
1-1 the count to Tejada. Foul back. 1-2. There are some guys that just don't like to pitch. I'm sure the hitters are the same way. Just don't like to hit in the daytime.
Yeah.
Don't like to pitch in the daytime. You get in your head. The stat may be kind of meaningless, but the idea that it's between your ears is meaningful.
Yeah, that's definitely meaningful if that's where it resides now. 31 pitches in the first inning for Nick.
Count is even to Tejada. Tejada, a .234 hitter. Tepish couldn't get him to offer it. That pitch low and outside. No, the count has gone full. If Nick loses Tejada, you have the pitcher, Zach Wheeler, waiting to be next. Payoff pitch and another foul ball. Just looking at that game that Tepish pitched against the Nationals back on the 31st of May. Gave up a solo home run in the first inning. And in the next inning, he gave up a 2-run home run and 4 runs altogether. He gave up 5 runs in the first 2 innings, and he was out of the ballgame. And he loses Tejada, the 3rd walk of the inning. And that'll bring up Zach Wheeler. Ninth player to come to the plate here in the first for the Mets. In that Washington game, Nick also faced 9 in the second inning. Wheeler just 1 for 26 this year. That figures out to an .038 batting average. Puts the ball in play better than half the time. 11 strikeouts and 26 at bats. Takes a knee-high strike. Tepish with the 0-1 pitch. 0-2. Looks like Nick's velocity may be a little lacking today, too. Haven't seen him pop anything above the upper 80s. That's not typical for Tepish. Got the swing and the miss there, and a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, and Wheeler gone, so are the Mets. But New York scores 5 times on 3 hits and 3 walks. We're going to the second, 5-0 Mets. former team president, Ambassador Tom Schieffer. That'll happen at the Dr. Pepper Texas Rangers Hall of Fame luncheon coming up on August the 22nd. That's at the Arlington Convention Center. You can hear his stories about the construction of Globe Life Park and behind-the-scenes stories from his years with the ball club. To purchase tickets, visit TexasRangers.com/Hall of Fame. Well, the Rangers, some work to do here in the confines of Citi Field. They trail 5-0 after one inning of play, and Leonis Martin will start things off against Zach Wheeler. It'll be Martin, Chirinos, and Pena. First three Rangers to do the swinging. Leonis hitting at .268 now. He has had not a whole lot of fun on the road trip. It has not been kind to him. Average-wise, anyway, is just 2 for 14. Yeah, Wheeler's first pitch is a fastball, belt high for strike one. Wheeler to the line. And a little looper out into right center. That's going to fall for a base hit. Well, there you go, Leonis.
You can hit a lot of balls off the hands, but if you can loop them over the infield, you can definitely make it work for you.
So, one on, nobody out. Robinson Chirinos comes up, and that's right outside Citi Field here. They're playing a little cricket match.
I've never seen a game of cricket before.
I haven't either. Our production guys.
You know what? If I was watching that, I don't think I'd even know what it was until I guess the pitcher will give it away when he finally. Oh, here he comes.
There you go. Understand it. He's called the bowler.
He's the bowler?
Yeah. Huh.
I feel like someone from Europe watching a baseball game. I guess they play a lot of cricket in India, maybe?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I bet you Vladimir Guerrero would have been a great cricket player.
I'm sure. First pitch to Chirinos. Fastball turns him around. Ball one. Chirinos up over 250 now. 251, 8 home runs, 26 RBI. Last night, that 2 for 4 evening, a big 3-run home run. Bartolo Colon. Play stopped here momentarily. Some kind of plastic wrapper got out near the shortstop, and RUBEN TEJADA wanted to get it out of his way.
In the course of about 3 months, Robinson Chirinos has gone from a kid that went to spring training, probably not expecting to make the team, then thrilled just to be on the team, hoping to get a chance to stay in the big leagues, to a guy that all of a sudden got a chance to play sporadically at the beginning, caught really well, wasn't hitting the ball all that well, then began to hit the ball, hit six home runs in the last month. And all of a sudden now he's a guy with a lot of confidence, that not just happy to be in the big leagues or hoping to stay or hoping to get a chance to play, but a guy that when he plays is counting on being one of the big contributors on the ball club right now. That's got to give him a lot of confidence and a much different feeling about the big leagues than he had at the beginning of the year. That's what he's done since June 1st. 6 home runs and knocked in 16.
And that's not exactly a small sample.
No, that's a lot of playing time.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Giovanni Soto has started his rehab assignment. He figures to be ready right after the All-Star break.
I would have a very difficult time if I was Ron Washington taking any of the playing time away from Robinson right now. Now, he's not catching every day. Chris Jimenez is getting a chance to do a lot of the catching too. But it just wouldn't seem right if Robinson didn't continue to get the same kind of playing time he's getting right now, based on how he's playing right now anyway.
He's down in the count here, a ball and 2 strikes. Leonis Martin, the runner at first. Nobody out in the Ranger half of the second inning. Got him swinging. Heated him up with 95 in a pretty good spot. That is strikeout number 2 for Wheeler.
Well, Wheeler obviously is trying to work out inconsistencies at the big league level, but that's a great arm that he's got to work with, no doubt about it. Mid-90s fastball with sinking action. He's a ground ball pitcher. He gets his share of strikeouts, 1 per inning. And when the opponents put the ball in play against him, he tends to get a lot of ground balls.
Zach Wheeler is talking a couple of days ago about his off-season conditioning program. Worked out with Clayton Kershaw, among others, in the Dallas area. Not a surprise that he's picked up a few things from Kershaw.
All of a sudden he comes up with that slow curveball next year, we'll know where he learned it.
Carlos Pena now will step in. Pena hitting at 111. Had a base hit in last night's game. A home run, 2 RBI. The first pitch is low for ball 1.
He was interviewed during the game last night and said he also works out with John Smoltz, so he's got a lot of high-profile instructors.
Pena, as you can see last night, 1 for 3, that double. Also had a walk in that game. 1-0 pitch is coming to him. To right field. And they got it down toward the trademark, it sounded like. Anderson makes the grab. Martin back to first. There are now 2 outs for Rougned Odor.
Mets starters have been struggling in the last 10 games. Their ERA is 6.44. Wheeler's last 3 starts have been a little bit like Nick Tepish's last 3 starts. He had a shutout, complete game shutout at Miami. Then he gave up 6 hits and 6 runs in 2 innings against the A's. And then his last start that we mentioned already against Atlanta was pretty good. 1 run in 6 1/3. So 2 out of his last 3 starts have been very good, including a complete game shutout at Miami. He appears to be throwing the ball pretty well today, too.
Here's Rougned Odor hitting at 262. 1 ball, no strikes. Odor with 3 home runs and 17 RBI. 5 for 22 on this road trip. Figures out that 227 average, as you can see. Wheeler a check of first. The pitch comes in belt high to Odor for a strike. 1-1. The Rangers with a couple of 10-plus hit games in a row under their belt, up to 3rd in road average this year, 267. Tell you how big a struggle though it's been. You go back to the end of May, the ball club was hitting 285. It was the best on the road in baseball. Since then they've hit 245 as a team. So we've seen that batting average drop. It's 20 points. Check swing. The pitch is outside. 3-1. Well, if Odor is able to extend this second inning, Nick Tepish, the pitcher, is waiting to be next. Wheeler nods in agreement. The right-hander sets. To center field. In a hurry, Lagares, and he makes the catch knee high. Good jump on the ball, and Rangers are gone in the second. No runs, a hit, 1 left. After 1.5, Mets 5, Rangers nothing. upcoming broadcast thanks to the good folks at AT&T. Just use hashtag Southwest Fan Photo, and your photo might be selected to be aired during the season on one of our telecasts. We'll have today's selection a little bit later on this afternoon. Ranger fans in attendance here today, and certainly not happy with what's gone on so far, but hoping Nick Tepesch can turn things around here in the second. Brilliantly sunny afternoon here at Citi Field. Well, Tepesch faces the top of the order once again, and Curtis Granderson swings through the first pitch from Tepesch. Granderson drew a walk and scored in the first inning. And he lost one to right field. Alex Rios drifting over to his right. Makes the grab. That is out number one.
Well, hopefully Nick can, after regrouping after the first inning, come out and throw some quality strikes, have a nice 1-2-3 inning, throw about 10 pitches and get right back on track. Just forget the first inning. Nothing you can do about that now. Now just see how well you can pitch and how long you can stay in the ball game. Hopefully he can keep his pitch count way down, get through 5 or 6 innings, and turn a terrible start into an okay performance.
Here's Daniel Murphy. He takes a knee-high strike. Murphy lined to center in the first inning. Now, we got to remind you that the Rangers with a bullpen, a 7-man bullpen. It's not, they don't have the extra pitcher, which sometimes they have had. And the only long man really is Scott Baker, and he had that spot start the other night in Baltimore, so he probably is not available yet. Or if he is, it wouldn't be for much more than an inning. There's a liner to left. That sends Chu back. And SHIN-SOO able to track it down just before he steps on the warning track. 2 gone.
Well, on Friday, the emergency long man was Nick Tepesch, even though he was scheduled to start on Sunday. The emergency long man today might be Nick Martinez, even though he's scheduled to pitch when we get back home. Wouldn't want to use him, but if you had to have a long man today, rather than Baker, who pitched a couple of days ago, you might go with Martinez and then keep Baker to start in that spot in the rotation. Hopefully it won't come to that. Hopefully Nick will turn it around and pitch deep into the ball game. We won't have to worry about that.
Got 2 gone very quickly here in the second inning, and David Wright, who flied out to center, will step in. Wright back after missing 7 ball games for the Mets. Had a bruised rotator cuff in his left shoulder. Made it very difficult for him to extend that arm and catch ground balls. Well, a third baseman doesn't have to use his left shoulder for much. Yeah, he does. You need to be able to reach out. And if you have a bad rotator cuff, it makes it a little difficult to reach.
You ever had a bad rotator cuff?
I think both of mine are bad. Oh, I think one's pretty good.
If anyone knows what he's talking about when it comes to rotator cuffs, you're the man I'm going to.
Well, what I know about him, you don't want to know.
Yeah. Well, you've reassured me a couple of times when I've asked you about pain, and you said, no, that's not rotator cuff. And
that's old age.
Made me feel better. Yeah, I'd rather know that.
High and tight. Look out. David Wright having to scramble back out of the way, and the count goes to 3-1. When a pitch like that comes up and in, and you know the hitter on 2-1's looking out over the plate to get a good pitch. A little bit slow to react to it. The next pitch is popped up, way up there, and fighting the sun, Carlos Pena, the first baseman. The veteran first sacker puts it away, and Nick Tepesch has a 1-2-3 inning. So we finish 2 at Citi Field, 5-0 Mets. And when we come back, SHIN-SOO Choo will start things off. It'll be the top of the order for the Rangers. Best together in Minnesota as Derek Jeter takes the field for his last All-Star game in his great career. It promises to be a very emotional and unforgettable night. Special coverage begins at 4:30 on Fox Sports 1, and that's followed by the 2014 All-Star game at 7:30 on Fox. Extra coverage, the pregame coverage, will be hosted by Mike Hill, Molly McGrath, Kevin Burkhardt, and they'll be joined by such luminaries as Frank Thomas, Gabe Kapler, Royce Clayton, C.J. Nitkowski, and J.P. Morosi. A lot of great baseball coverage that night. Well, Nick Tepesch starting things off, and I think that 1-2-3 second inning got an opportunity to hit here in the third. This is a similar situation as that game that he worked in Washington, where Nick had trouble in both the first and second innings. And Ron Washington just felt that that was enough, and he pinch hit for Tepesch his first time up there. On the outside corner, Wheeler now has the count even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. For Nick, his first at bat this year. Check swing. Did he go around? No, he did not. He appealed down to the first base umpire. That's DJ Rayburn. He said, nope, no swing, so the count is full. Zach Wheeler has struck out a couple. He has not walked a hitter this afternoon. Now the payoff pitch to Tepesch. Pretty good whip there.
Yeah, it was.
Let it go. He wasn't feeling for the ball. He just said, here, throw this thing out there and see what happens. Another 3-2 is on the way. To the right side, a diving stop and catch by Tejada robs Nick Tepesch of a base hit.
Well, for Tejada, he had time to get to it. It wasn't an extremely hard hit ball, but it looked like where it was located to start off, it was still going to get into left field for a soft single. We'll take a look at Tejada. Take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 steps and a dive, and he's able to make a nice play.
Sounded like Tepesch broke his bat. You figure for a pitcher, if you get a broken bat and the ball has a chance to fall in, it should.
Yeah. Well, I think he did break his bat. Hopefully it didn't hurt his hands. That's a hard 95-mile-an-hour sinker that Zach Wheeler features.
No, one gone. Tepesch talking to Daniel Robertson. Robertson commiserating with him. So you got robbed. A ball and a strike.
Well, at least he doesn't have to run the bases on a hot sunny day. Warm sunny day. It's not hot. Beautiful out, really.
CHOO, a ground ball to first. Tricky hop, but DUDA stays with it. That is out number 2, and it'll bring up Elvis Andrus. Before he steps in, let's take time for a Mazda game break with John Radigan. John? All right, John, thank you. The Mets have a 5-0 lead. They put 5 on the board in the first inning. Rangers batting here in the top of the third. Elvis, a ground ball to short. Back in the first. Wheeler's fastball sails high for ball 1. Elvis 8 for 24 on this road trip. It's a .333 average, a 3-game hitting streak, I should say, coming in to this afternoon's play. Wheeler back to the plate. Just misses outside. 2-0. Elvis has had good success against the National League the last couple of years. Since the start of 2012, he's hit .319 against National League pitching. Takes that pitch outside. 3 balls and no strikes. Well, Elvis trying to get aboard with 2 outs. Alex Rios, the Ranger right fielder, is waiting to be next. Ball 4 misses. Well, the first walk of the afternoon issued to ELVIS with 2 outs. ANDRUS at first, Alex Rios coming up.
Wheeler talking about different ways that pitchers excel and struggle. Night, day, home, road. He has struggled at home this year. He's 0-4 in 6 starts with a 5.40 ERA. Going back to last year, in his last 9 starts, he's 0-6 at home. He's pitched much better, obviously, on the road. He's had 11 starts this year on the road.
Rios takes a belt high strike. He didn't think so, but it was called a strike by home plate umpire Marvin Hudson. Now, one of the things I guess you would try to do with Zach Wheeler is be patient with him. I mean, he has a tendency to walk people.
Yeah.
But it's hard to be patient when the guy throws that hard. You know, especially if he throws strike 1 to you. Put you on the defensive right away. It's in the dirt, going outside, 1-1.
I noticed in the Mets notes he's averaged 17.6 pitches per inning. That's the most pitches per inning in the major leagues. So he does tend to throw a lot of pitches. Early in the game, he hasn't averaged that many so far today. After the walk to Elvis, maybe he's on his way.
1-0 pitch coming to Rios. Now 1-2. Or 1-1, excuse me. Alex hitting a .304 as he faces Wheeler here in the 3rd inning. Rangers, as we mentioned, trying to bust a streak of series lost to the Mets. This is the 4th series they've played against the Mets since the start of interleague play back in '97. 2-2. And the Rangers have lost 2 of the 3 in each series prior to this one. This is the opportunity, if with a win today, to finally put one in the W column. But trailing 5-0, they have their work cut out for them. 2-2 is the count to Rios. Elvis a modest lead at first. Wheeler checks him. And throws a breaking ball, called strike 3. Rios knew that. Wheeler with his 3rd strikeout. Rangers strand the walker, Elvis Andrus. After 2.5 in New York, it's the Mets 5, the Rangers nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. And by the all-new Mazda 3 with seamless connectivity. beautiful day for boating. All kinds of persuasions, if you will. Speedboats, sailboats, whatever you happen to have. Mets come to bat in the bottom of the third inning. They're leading 5-0. Lucas DUDA, who had the RBI double that drove in the first Mets run back in the first inning, will lead things off. Middle third of the order to face Nick Tepesch, who had a 1-2-3 second inning. Good breaking ball down and in to DUDA, and he swung over the top of it. 1-1. DUDA now with 45 RBI, hitting at .254 for the year. DUDA had the opposite field home run against Darvish here on Friday night. 2-run shot that got the Mets off and running. Check swing. Did he go around? No, he did not. Field down to Doug Eddings at third. No, it's 3-1. Tepesch, who walked 3 in the first inning, and that was really a big part of his undoing. 2 of the 3 scored. The 3-1 pitch here. He fires a strike, 3-2. DUDA trying to get aboard to start off the third. He'll be followed by KIRK NIEUWENHUIS. Now the payoff pitch. Outside, ball 4. Well, a leadoff walk just as happened in the first inning. Now NIEUWENHUIS coming up, who walked himself in the first inning. Well, the Mets have been one of the more patient teams in the National League. Team on base percentage of just .312, but in the National League, it's not bad. It's right in the middle of the pack. 1 ball and no strikes. Tepesch back to the plate. That tailing fastball is called strike 1. Tepesch a check of first. Misses low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to NIEUWENHUIS. NIEUWENHUIS with a pinch hit double in last night's ball game. Getting the chance to start in left field today. Good breaking ball that worked its way in under his fist. 2-2. Tepesch had to work extra hard here this afternoon. This will be his 58th pitch coming up with nobody out here in the third inning. The Mets, despite having lost 8 of their last 10 ball games, have been playing pretty well at home the last several weeks. They've won 7 of their last 12. Pitch on the way, and that just is off the outer edge. No, the count is full now to NIEUWENHUIS. He is threatening to join teammate Lucas DUDA aboard. Juan Lagares, the center fielder, is waiting to be next. Tepesch okays to sign the payoff pitch. DUDA on the move. Swung on a miss to throw to second.
Look at that throw.
And I think DUDA is out. That's a close play, but holy cow.
It's getting to the point where you're looking forward to seeing Robinson play, just to watch him throw.
You
He's gotten to where he gets rid of the ball quickly. He's got more than something on it, and almost every throw is right on the money. Look at this throw. It's right on the bag, waiting for him.
That's his 20th caught stealing of the year, and that is the most in the major leagues. One more than Yan Gomes had. Also sneaking up to close to 50%. That's 20 now out of 42.
You just don't see catchers throwing out runners at a 50% rate.
Nope.
Very often.
Strike him out, throw him out, double play. 2 gone, bases empty. Now the count goes to 2-0 to Juan Lagares. Lagares an RBI single in the first.
The way he's throwing this year, if the pitcher gives him half a chance, he's going to throw him out.
Yep.
And you have to watch him play, and you can almost make the statement he can really control the running game. He hasn't controlled the running game, at least as far as keeping them from attempting to steal, probably because people haven't seen enough of him. But the more you see, the more you say, unless you can get a good jump, you're going to get thrown out. I mean, a really good jump. Or it's a breaking ball that's down. He doesn't get a chance to get a good ball to throw, or the pitcher doesn't give him enough time. But all things being equal, he's doing a definitely gun you down at second base.
Little nubber back to the mound. Second hop right into the glove of Nick Tepesch. On to first, that'll do it. So it turns out to be a 1-2-3 inning. The walker is cut down. We're going to the fourth. 5-0 New York. Right here on Fox Sports Southwest, where it's not about the score, it's about the experience. A lot of youngsters out here having a good time. He's brought his glove with him. Dad, am I supposed to do that?
Good looking glove right there.
It's on the correct hand and everything. He's ready to go. You know, the Rangers come to bat in the top of the fourth inning. It'll be the middle third of the order. Beltre, Martin, and Chirinos to face Zach Wheeler.
Those were a couple of ball players right there. You can tell by the way they wear the hat, the alert look on their face. They got their gloves ready when it's time. Take another look. There you go.
Yeah.
Those aren't baseball wannabes right there. Those are two little players. You can tell.
All you need to do is have a little audio and hear them chattering out there. Hey,
yeah, they're talking baseball.
Yeah. Beltre, swing and a miss. 1-1. And on the other side of the coin,
well, you never know. He might not need a glove. That ball hits him, it's not going to bother him a bit. Ouch.
That got way inside on Beltre, and David Wright.
That's not that sound you're talking about. No, that's a sound you actually like that sound, don't you?
That's the one I like. Don't like it.
One sounds like a crack.
There you go.
That's the sound of a bat cracking.
Yeah.
You don't even have to see what happened. You know, that's a baseball hitting a bat near the handle and causing it to crack.
Brings a smile to every pitcher's face. Now, one out. Here's Leonis Martin. Leonis bluffing a bunt that had David Wright charging down the line from third. Martin dumped a single into shallow right center field his first time up there. Batting average now back to 271. It's out of play to the left. And the count evens, and a ball and a strike. For Leonis, that base hit in the second inning was just his fourth on this road trip. Now 4 for 15, or third, excuse me, 3 for 15. Pitch is high. Zach Wheeler with 55 pitches under his belt thus far. Has one out here in the fourth inning. Mets leading 5-0. They have out hit the Rangers just 3-2. As you mentioned, 3 walks in that first inning and a big 3-run home run for the Mets. The undoing of Nick Tepping. I don't think he really wanted to swing at that.
He was looking for a changeup. I think that swing might have started when the ball was in the catcher's glove.
The 2-2 offering. And a full count. Now Wheeler walked one his last inning. That is the only walk he has issued today. In danger of walking Leonis Martin. You see 35 of the pitches for Wheeler now. 95 mile an hour plus.
Yeah, that's a pretty good percentage of his fastballs because he hasn't thrown all fastballs.
David Wright charging, picks it up on the run, throws, and gets Leonis. That is out number 2. Nice play by David Wright. Well, folks, the Rangers in 99.5 The Wolf present Country Combo. It's a package that includes a ticket to both games featuring post-game country concerts and sponsored by Budweiser. On Friday, the 25th of July, the Turnpike Troubadours take the field after the A's-Rangers game. And then on Saturday, August 16th, Joe Nichols plays following the game against the Angels. The package starts at just $28. You can get yours at TexasRangers.com/wolf and use the coupon code online, WOLF. Robinson Chirinos fouls the first pitch off to the right. It is 0-1. Chirinos, a strikeout victim in the second inning. Robinson now hitting an even .250. 0-1. Chirinos, his 50th start behind the plate today. He hits this one well to left field. Forget about that one. Goodbye. Robinson Chirinos picked on a hanging off-speed pitch and crashed it out of here. His 9th home run of the year. It's now a 5-1 Mets lead.
Well, every day he plays, he keeps giving us something to talk about, that's for sure. In the last 15 minutes, he's gunned out a runner trying to steal and hit a home run. Kind of what he's been doing for a month, 5 weeks, I guess it's been, since the beginning of June. Yeah, it's one thing to get that pitch, it's another to take advantage of it. Yeah. Sure, it was a hanger, but he did the rest. He put it right out of the ballpark.
Chirinos, 9 home runs, 27 RBI. in 50 starts.
Pretty good.
Yeah. This is the Rangers' 88th ball game of the year. Well, the Rangers on the board here in the fourth. Carlos Pena, a fly ball to right his first time up there.
He's now tied with SHIN-SOO for the most home runs on the Rangers. BELTRE leads. CHOO and Chirinos each have 9. Setting him at a pretty good rate right now, too.
That's his 7th home run since the 25th of May. 2-0 pitch coming to Pena. And that is fouled off down the left side. 2-1.
What was that?
A low-flying bird or something. I don't know. Outside, Carlos taking it. 3-1 the count. Zach Wheeler trying to regroup after the 2-out home run by Robinson Chirinos. He's fallen behind Carlos Pena. 3-1. And misses high. Ball 4. That is the second walk given by Wheeler this afternoon. Pena to first, and Ruben Odor coming up.
We talked about Wheeler just last inning, that he averages close to 18 pitches an inning. He's not quite there yet, but after a decent start, his pitch count is starting to get up there a little bit.
Odor, a fly ball to center. That was back in the second inning. Infield plays the left-handed hitting Odor a step or so around to the right. There's some more groundskeeping work. Anthony Recker, the catcher, has to go out there and pick something up in the dirt in front of home plate. Pena, the short lead from first as Wheeler sets. One ball, no strikes. Well, you can kind of see where the wheels could come off Wheeler, no pun intended, very quickly. And get that. He's got a big motion, and if something gets out of whack, I can see where it'd be real tough for him to throw strikes consistently. And excuse me, rower down to third. Wright has it. That'll do it for the Rangers, but Robinson Chirinos with his 9th home run of the year gets the Rangers on the board. Bottom of the 4th inning coming up. It's the Mets 5, the Rangers 1.
I just want to wish all my family and friends a happy and safe 4th of July. Jessica, Logan, and Rylan, I can't wait to see you guys. And go Rangers.
All right, Lieutenant, thank you very much. In the Citi Field on a picture postcard afternoon. The Mets leading 5-1 over the Rangers. Mets come to bat here in the bottom of the 4th against Nick Tepesch. It'll be the bottom third of the New York batting order. Anthony Recker, the catcher, Ruben Tejada, the shortstop, and Zach Wheeler, the pitcher. After a very troublesome 9-hitter first inning, Nick Tepesch has settled down nicely to retire 5 of the last 6 that he has faced. Recker, the game record, at least for the first inning. He had that big 3-run home run. Made all the difference in the world to Nick Tepesch and the Rangers. Capped off the scoring in that 5-run inning. The record now 3 home runs, 13 driven in. Hard hit ground ball, but to the wrong guy if you're trying to get on base. BELTRE across the diamond, 1 away.
Got some Ranger fans in attendance today. A lot of them actually, but a couple of them that we know about. Jeff, Caroline, and Kaylee Graham are here, along with Melanie Adams. They're from Nevada, Texas. I'd like to say hi to friends and family back home. There's a lot of Ranger fans staying at our hotel. Along with a lot of other people too. That hotel's like Grand Central Station. Man.
Middle of summer tourist season.
Yeah.
There's groups from all over the world there.
There are. You walk through that lobby, you might hear 10 different languages being spoken.
First pitch that Tejada has fouled off. Yeah, none of them are New York languages either. Some Ranger fans. Good looking Ranger cap and shirt. 0-1 the count to Tejada. A looper to left field. That is going to fall for a base hit. Over to cut it off is CHOO. Around first, headed for second. The throw is not in time as ANDRUS cuts it off, and Ruben Tejada for the 1-out double is in scoring position.
SHIN-SOO got over as quickly as he could, but still couldn't stop Tejada from getting a double. Now you got the pitcher up there with a man on second and 1 out. See what the National League strategy is right here.
Now, considering Zach Wheeler is 1 for 26, now 1 for 27, I would bet on a. I'd be wrong too. That's why I don't bet anymore.
I was getting ready to say, well, the Rangers are right there with you because BELTRE and Pena are way in at first and third. They were thinking the same thing.
I guess in Terry Collins' mind, that 5-1 lead makes it a different kind of situation.
Probably. Tim Tuffle, the third base coach for the Mets.
0-1, the count to Wheeler, who struck out his first time. He's going to bunt this time. Pretty good one. Tepesch has to make a quick throw on to Pena. And Wheeler is retired on to third. There's Tejada. Well, folks, on this Independence Day weekend, Fox Sports Supports is especially proud to recognize the Army's Gold Star Pin campaign, which honors the families of fallen service members. To learn more, visit goldstarpins.org.
I guess, Buzz, what he did that time is he let his pitcher go for it on one pitch. Take a nice big swing. Maybe you can get lucky and run into one.
Yep.
But when that didn't happen, said, all right, let's get back to basics here. It was a very good bunt.
Well, 2 outs now with Tejada down at third. Here's Curtis Granderson up there for his third time today. And Tepesch pours in strike 1. Granderson has walked and scored. That was back in the first. Flied out to right field, starting off the second. Tepesch with Tejada at third, still working from the stretch. And Granderson fouls back the next pitch. 0-2.
pitch to hit. He took one right down the middle of the plate, a cut fastball, and then missed the fastball. Might have seen his good pitches to hit already in this at bat.
Got him swinging. Went up the ladder, and Granderson didn't have that many rungs on his. That'll do it. The one-out double goes to waste. We're going to the fifth. 5-1 New York. With Emily Jones, who has some information about Citi Field for us. Em?
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Citi Field celebrating its 5th birthday this year, a beautiful ballpark. And aside from what's going on the field, perhaps the biggest attraction here is the Jackie Robinson Rotunda, beautifully designed, inspired by the old Ebbets Field where the Brooklyn Dodgers used to play, and designed with the help of the widow of Jackie Robinson, Rachel Robinson. Really pays tribute to the man that Jackie Robinson was, both on the baseball field and as well as the civil rights leader that he became for our country. So many powerful words and images on display here, and perhaps none more powerful than Robinson's definition of integrity. A life is not important except in the impact it has on other lives. A truly powerful statement and a truly powerful tribute to a wonderful man, guys.
All right, Emily, thank you. Yeah, very, very well said, and very, very true. Of course, the legacy of Jackie Robinson on display every day here in New York at Citi Field, and certainly in the hearts and minds of a lot of New Yorkers. With Jackie Robinson forever will be one of theirs. Nick Tepesch leading off the Ranger 5th inning. Check swing, the appeal down at first, no swing. The count moves to a ball and 2 strikes. First base umpire C.J. Rayburn making that call. Tepesch hit a little limp line drive that was taken care of by Ruben Tejada, the shortstop, first time up. And there's a little more on the things that you can see in the Rotunda. Video of Jackie Robinson. His days with the Dodgers, broke the color line and color barrier in 1947. 1-2 pitch. Hard hit by the dive this time of right at third and into left field. And Tepesch has a leadoff single.
He tried to rob him twice. Ruben Tejada took a base hit away from him the first time, but David Wright was unable to do it that time.
The Ranger pitchers this weekend at Citi Field have gone kind of crazy. Yu Darvish had that double here on Friday night. And then it was Colby Lewis' turn last night. He shot one into right center field. And now Nick Tepesch has done his best to join the awesome array of Ranger hitters that are pitchers.
Oh, we knew Colby could hit. We've seen him do that a few times in the past. Well, we know that Darvish can swing the bat okay, and so can Nick. It's a couple of pretty good at bats for Nick against a guy like this. Throwing 95 miles an hour with an 89-mile-an-hour cutter. Strikeout throughout the course of the season. He strikes out 1 batter per inning. Nick's had some good swings against him. Almost had 2 hits.
And CHOO right on that one and fouled it straight back. A ball and a strike. And let's check in again with Emily Jones. Em?
Well, you talked about that hit by Nick Tepesch, Mike Maddox, and Ron Washington making sure that that ball came back into the dugout so Nick could have it as a keepsake.
Good.
Somebody's going to get a ball that looks like it's that one and start writing things on it. Things that you don't want to hear about. And then present it to Nick after the ball game. Here's the one for your mantle.
Send it over to Zach Wheeler to sign for him. 15 years from now, who knows? Zach Wheeler may have won 250 ball games. That'd be a nice keepsake to have. And in interleague play, Nick might have, that might be his first of 15 or 20 hits.
One and two the count to SHIN-SOO Choo, who is 1 for 2 today. Had a double in the first inning. Grounded out to first in the third. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mets not particularly concerned with Nick Tepesch trying to steal. They're not holding him on at first. That pitch in the dirt. Gets away from RECKER and almost took too long to find it.
Nick almost took too long and then went to second. Would have got thrown out. Wasn't sure where the ball was between the catcher and the umpire. It's tough to see from where he is. We got a pretty good view of it, but I don't think Nick had the same opportunity to see where that ball was leading off at first base.
Well, the count is full now to CHOO. Rangers trying to drum up some interest on their part here in the 5th inning. Pitch foul back. We'll try it again. Rangers have had at least 1 runner in every inning, but have not gotten a runner beyond third base, with the exception of Chirinos jogging by on his home run. CHOO got stranded at third in the first, and since then it's guys stranded at first. That's going to hurt. SHIN-SOO banging that off his right foot, right leg somewhere. Ooh. He tends to abuse that front leg frequently. Still 3-2. Wheeler set. Got him swinging. That cutter is 89 miles an hour, and Wheeler gets his 4th strikeout of the afternoon. 1 gone. Elvis Andrus coming up.
Pretty good pitch on 3-2. In fact, it's a great pitch, exactly where he wanted to throw it. It's tough to lay off that pitch no matter what kind of eye you've got. After a long at bat like that on a 3-2 pitch, probably going to swing at it. Probably not going to have a whole lot of luck either. That was a great pitch.
Well, that's the first out here in the 5th. Tepesch still at first. Elvis Andrus 0 for 1, a ground out and a walk. Nothing in 1. One thing the Rangers have done as a team, which is something they'd rather not have, is grounded into a lot of double plays. 85 that they have hit into this year, and that's the most in Major League Baseball. I say that because Elvis is second in the league, having grounded into 15. Behind in the count here, 0-2. Just outside. And Wheeler, for all his problems as far as command goes, or control sometimes, does throw a lot of ground balls. So 53% of the balls put in play are ground balls. Can't imagine it's particularly fun to hit against a guy whose control is suspect and also throws that heavy sinker.
Yeah. Wouldn't be for me.
And the right-hander is ready. Sets at the belt and the 1-2 pitch. Wheeler now has gotten to 85 pitches for the afternoon. There's 1 on, 1 out here in the 5th inning. Last couple of innings, that pitch count has grown pretty quickly. Right back to him. To second, they get 1. That's all they're going to get. Elvis able to leg it out. That high chopper prevented any kind of reasonable chance of turning it over. So ANDRUS now at first. Tepish back to the dugout. 2 gone for Alex Rios.
And I'm sure that Ron Washington is very happy that Nick didn't try to slide hard and break up that double play. As a pitcher, it's one thing to go up and hit, but it's another thing to try to go break up a double play. You haven't hit very much. You definitely haven't run the bases and tried to slide very often.
Showing something that a lot of pitchers don't. It's common sense.
Yeah. It might be a little different if you're in the 7th inning of a close game.
Right.
There's men on first and third and 1 out. You're on first. And that run is the go-ahead run. You might think it out a little differently then.
Yep.
But in this situation, it didn't make much sense to try to go in and barrel over the shortstop.
0-1 the count to Alex Rios. Rios 0 for 2, a ground out and a strikeout today. Wheeler set the 0-1 pitch. Beat that into the ground, and David Wright on the run gets Rios by a step, and that'll do it. The Rangers get a leadoff single, but Strander runner. We played half the ball game. The score remains 5-1 Mets over the Rangers. Bringing you $7 tickets. Plus, Papa John's is activating the Rangers 7 special. That's all day. Log on to TexasRangers.com/specials to get the $7 ticket offer today and take in the Astros and Rangers game tomorrow with a great deal. Now Nick Tepesch back to the hill, a 5-1 Mets lead. Will deal to Daniel Murphy to start off the bottom of the 5th inning. Murphy, Wright, and DUDA. Swing and a miss by Murphy, who has lined out twice, once to center and once to left. That's 5 runs and only 4 hits. They've had just 1 hit since that 5-run outburst in the first. Towering pop-up to shallow right field. Odor going out, coming on Rios, and he calls off Odor. That is out number 1. Let's head down to the field again. Checking with Emily Jones real quick.
So you were talking about Nick Tepesch earlier and not sliding into second base to break up that double play. The Rangers can ill afford to lose another pitcher to injury, and Nick Martinez appears to be at least in question as far as his next start while taking batting practice. Tweaked his shoulder and wants to get it looked at by the team doctor, Keith Meister, back in Arlington before they decide what he'll do for his next start. So perhaps something brewing there with Nick Martinez. We'll, of course, keep you posted once he gets evaluated tomorrow in Arlington.
All right, Emily, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Em. Didn't know that. Thought maybe he might be an emergency relief pitcher today. Doesn't sound like it.
And first ball swinging David Wright. Skies one to shallow center. Notice Martin calling off Odor right at the last second.
Well, it took a while to make the call, but it was successful thanks to Odor's quick reflexes to get out of the way.
Well, he vacated the premises in a hurry.
He did. Well, both plays, both balls this inning, one to right field, one to left field, center field, have found the outfielder calling off the infielder. Easy play for Odor, but it's even easier for the center fielder. And it's the outfielder's call. If he makes the call, the infielder gets out of the way. And twice, Rugnet has been involved in that play in this inning. Outfielder calling him off.
Well, a very quick 2 outs. Here's Lucas DUDA, who has doubled and walked. He has scored a run, driven in a run, and Tepesch misses high and away for ball 1. Rangers again with the overshift on for the left-handed hitting DUDA. See Andrus, Odor, and Pena all manning the right side of the infield. 2 balls, no strikes. DUDA drove in the first Mets run back in the first inning. That is 44th run driven in this year. Takes that pitch that floats over the outside corner for a strike. Tepesch back to him. 2-2 now. Tepesch to the wind, the 2-2 pitch. Got him swinging. Good breaking ball down and in, and Nick Tepesch has gotten it back together. He sends the Mets down in order after 5 complete. 5-1 Mets as we look at the T-ball field out in center field, wiffle ball field, I should say. Sonic. Today's jackpot is worth $900 and dinner for two at Sonic Drive-In. Today, the Rangers are hitting for Vicky Foster from Grand Prairie. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam during this inning, Vicky Foster from Grand Prairie is going to win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. Now, Zach Wheeler back to the hill. He has worked 5 innings, has allowed a run on 4 hits this afternoon. Nick Tepish, meanwhile, allowed 5 runs on 3 hits in the first inning, and since then, Tepish has allowed just 1 more base hit. Adrian Beltre leading things off. He followed by Leonis Martin and Robinson Chirinos. The first pitch to Beltre is low for ball 1. Adrian a strikeout and a ground out. 0 for 2. Came in hitting at .335, which is second in the American League behind Jose Altuve. Altuve's fallen on hard times. He was down to .338 starting today. About 10 points down from where he was last week.
And as hot as he was due to go maybe a week or 10 days and slow down a little bit. Had a great streak where he had multiple stolen bases. I think he stole a base in 6 straight games.
He was on 5 times every game, it seemed like. I figured he'd have to steal at least one of those times. 2-0 pitch to Beltre. In the air to left field. Kind of got him down toward the hands a little bit. NIEUWENHUIS puts it away, and Beltre is retired for the 3rd straight time tonight. 1 out. Leonis Martin coming up. Let's take time for a Mazda game break with John Radigan. All right, John, thank you. First pitch to Leonis Martin. It's a little bit low for ball 1. Martin is single in the 2nd. Grounded out to 3rd in the 4th. 1 out of 2. And then batting average down an even .270. Tejada, a couple of steps to his left, makes the play. And the speedy Leonis Martin is retired. 2 gone. And Robinson Chirinos will be next.
We talked about Wheeler throwing a heavy ball, a lot of sinkers. He gets a lot of ground balls. He doesn't give up many home runs. He's only given up 6 home runs this year. Gave up 1 to Robinson Chirinos in this game on a hanging breaking ball. Pitch he probably doesn't give up many at all on her. That is that heavy sinker, that 95-mile-an-hour ball that looks like he does a pretty good job of keeping it down too.
Chirinos with that home run, now hitting at .254. The pitch low for ball 1. The AT&T UBERS rewind. And there's that hanger that Tom was telling you about, that Chirinos, his eyes got as big as saucers when that thing came up there. He ripped it out of the ballpark to left field. Swinging on the next one, it's a towering pop-up in foul territory. And DUDA, where there runs out of room, that ball back in the 3rd row. Now 1-1 the count to Chirinos.
Very nice catch. Without a glove.
Guy next to him is covering his head. I think that was a smart move.
That's what I would have been doing.
Chirinos with 9 home runs, 27 driven in. He's waiting for Zach Wheeler's 1-1 pitch. And this one popped up. Left center field, moving over is the left fielder NIEUWENHUIS, and he puts it away, and that'll do it. Rangers sent down in order in the 6th. We'll go to the bottom half of inning number 6. The Mets 5, the Rangers 1. by your Texas Ford dealers. Take the EcoBoost Challenge to see why Ford is the best in Texas. Now, the Unisphere at the site of the World's Fair here in Queens, New York. A lot of the area still used as a park and exhibit area and museum on site. I understand the original site of the United Nations building there. It's now a museum, the Queens Museum. And then there's a modern-day Mohawk for you. First ball swinging. KIRK Nieuwenhuis to deep right field, and that ball's gone. Nieuwenhuis got a pitch to his liking and drove it into the Ranger bullpen. That makes it a 6-1 Mets lead.
Well, in last night's game, the Rangers scored 4 runs in the first inning, including a 3-run homer, and then added one more run, which was Adrian Beltre's home run. Mets had one more in the first inning today, but also had a 3-run homer and now have added a solo shot by Nieuwenhuis here in the top of the 6th inning.
Well, for Nieuwenhuis, his second home run of the year. The first pitch to Juan Lagares is a little bit inside for ball 1. Lagares an RBI single in the first, tapped back to the mound last time up. Tepish missing high, runs the count to 2-0. Well, the Mets a couple of home runs today. They have now hit 67 as a team this year. In the air to center field, that sends Leonys Martin back a bit, but plenty of room. Martin puts it away. That is out number 1. Lagares retired. Now the catcher, Anthony Recker, coming up. Recker had that big 3-run home run that Tom was telling you about in the first inning. Last time up, Recker grounded to third, although he did hit the ball pretty hard down to Beltre. That's now 6 runs on just 5 hits against Nick Tepish. We told you part of Nick's problem in the first inning was the walks. He had 3 walks, and 2 of them scored in that initial frame. Drops in the slow breaking ball for strike 1. Tepish to the wind, the 0-1 pitch, and that one's popped up. Odor and Pena, and Odor's calling off Carlos Pena. Finally got somebody to listen to him and really make the catch. He'd been called off a couple of times last inning, and he took charge this time. Well, the progressive upcoming schedule for the Rangers finishing up here this afternoon. Then it's back home for the pre-All-Star game homestand. Astros in for 3 tomorrow night. The Miles Michael is making his first home start against Jared Cozart. Astros in Tuesday and Wednesday also. Then the Angels come in Thursday through Sunday prior to the All-Star break. Rangers will enjoy the 4 days off and then back on the road to Toronto and back here to New York to take on the Yankees. One 1-0 the count to Ruben Tejada, who is 1 for 1 today. He's walked and doubled. 2 balls, no strikes. Tepish just now at the 90 pitch mark. Now, considering he had more than 30 in the first, he has done a very good job of getting deeper into the ball game than one might have expected. And that pitch popped up. In on the right side, Odor waiting for it to come down, makes the catch, and that'll do it. Nieuwenhuis with a leadoff home run gets the Mets on the board again. We're going to the 7th inning here at Citi Field. It's now 6-1 New York. Anthony Recker in the first inning, a 3-run blast. That capped off a 5-run first against Nick Tepesch and the Rangers. Then in the 6th inning, KIRK NIEUWENHUIS going after the first pitch from Tepesch in that frame, and he hit it out into the Ranger bullpen. So 4 of the 6 runs scoring as a direct result of the long ball. The Mets leading 6-1. They about hit the Rangers, but only 5-4 this afternoon. Robinson Chirinos, another home run. A solo blast in the 4th, accounting for the Rangers' only run. And the Mets, as we showed you, the home runs by Recker and NIEUWENHUIS. So Texas coming to bat here in the top of the 7th inning. Ranger fans forced to go to the concession stand. They don't have anything to cheer about right now. Rangers trying to provide something for them, though. Carlos Pena to lead off. Rougned Odor to follow, and then the pitcher spot. Pena 0 for 1, a fly ball and a walk. Swings that first pitch, and it's a high pop up behind the plate. Recker coming back, and it's back out of play. Oh, 1 to Pena. Carlos now 4 for 37 in a Ranger uniform. That figures out to a 108 average. Trying to get himself untracked. 0-1 pitch. Carlos, the 36-year-old veteran. The 1-1. Now 2-1. Carlos, as we've talked about, has come full circle. Started out the Rangers' first draft pick back in 1998, 10th overall pick in that draft. Made his Ranger debut 3 years later. The 2-1. Ball's hit well to center field. Going back is Lagares. It's over his head. One hop up off the wall and into second base with a leadoff double is Carlos Pena.
Well, Carlos has hit a lot of balls pretty good. That one he hit real good. You could tell by the crack of the bat that that one was hit on the good part of the bat. A lot of them have been a little bit toward the end, a little bit toward the handle, and haven't jumped. But that one went over Lagares' head, and he didn't have a chance to get back and catch it. He hit it so hard. Short hopped the wall out in center field.
Well, that is the 5th Ranger hit of the afternoon against Zach Wheeler. Maybe with his first one, and now Rougned Odor will come up. Rangers trailing by 5. Odor a fly ball and a ground out. 0 for 2 and currently hitting at .259. And slices one out of play over to the left side. Odor 5 out of 24 on this road trip. Last 15 ball games, Rougned has seen his batting average drop some 40 points. Trying to pick up Pena out there at second base. This chop foul down the first base side. The count moves to 0-2.
Changeup. We haven't seen him throw a lot of changeups or a lot of curveballs. It's mostly been a cut fastball and a two-seam fastball. One at about 88, 89 miles an hour, and one around 95 miles an hour.
Rougned tired of waiting and asked for time. Zach Wheeler has just gone over the 100 pitch level. His next one will be number 103. Right-hander sets a check of second. Odor spoiling a pretty good fastball away. barrel action. Dana Evelyn, the left-hander, and Vic Black, the right-hander. Loosening in support of Zach Wheeler. Right-hander okays the sign and is ready to go. Another chopper foul down the first base side. Odor putting up a pretty good battle in this at bat. Jason Frazier loosening in the Ranger bullpen. Nick Tepe's spot due up after Odor as we look down into the on-deck circle. Michael Choice has grabbed a bat and come out on deck. Still no balls and 2 strikes. Skied to center. Harris backpedaling a couple of steps, makes the catch. That is out number 1. Back to second is Pena, and Michael Choice coming up. Well, folks, today USAA would like to pay special recognition to all of our service members at home and abroad. Conference on the mound. Dan Worthen, pitching coach, out there having a chat with Zach Wheeler, going over the scouting report, no doubt, on Michael Choice. Nick Tepesch finished for this afternoon, went 1 for 2 as a hitter, and worked 6 innings, giving up 6 runs, all of them earned on 5 hits and 4 walks, along with the 2 home runs on the hill. So Michael Choice, a pinch hitter here in the 7th inning. 1 on and 1 out. Choice hitting 173 with 8 home runs and 28 RBI. Good job by Nick Tepesch to get his ball club through the 6th inning. As far as what he was able to do on the mound after having a very rough first inning.
Yeah, we said that right off the bat. Forget the 5 runs in the first inning. Now see how deep you can pitch into the ball game, and he did do an excellent job on a day where I don't know if there really was a long man out there.
I think he became that long man.
Yeah, he became his own long man. Otherwise, everyone was going to have to pitch and go back home after this game with a pretty tired bullpen. So after the 5-run first, there was only the home run by NIEUWENHUIS after that 5 innings. All the damage, most of the damage done with that 3-run homer right off the bat in the first inning that Anthony RECKER hit.
Michael Choice, the pinch hitter, ahead of the count now. 2 balls and no strikes. Now 3-0. Choice, who has gone 3 for 11 as a pinch hitter this year. Pretty good count now, 3-0, trying to get aboard. Rangers need some base runners. They have the top of the order waiting to be next. That would be Shin-Soo Choo. And Wheeler fires a knee-high strike. 3-1. Our pitch tracker showing you that last one right down at the bottom of the zone on the outside corner. Wheeler, a long look in. And he finally agrees to one. Looks like that cutter swung through by Michael Choice. The count is now full. Choice waiting. Wheeler is set. A check of second. The payoff pitch. Line to left field, sinking in a hurry. It's down for a base hit. Pena had to make sure it was going to fall, but Michael Choice with a pinch hit single here in the 7th inning. And the Rangers have runners at the corners and 1 out for the top of the order, Shin-Soo Choo. And they're not going to face Zach Wheeler. Terry Collins, the Mets manager, on his way to the mound, and that's going to do it for Zach Wheeler, who will have gone 6 1/3 innings. He is replaced. He has allowed 6 hits, 1 run, but the men at the corners are his responsibility. Well, Wheeler finished. Pitching change underway here at Citi Field. Rangers trailing 6-1. We're back after this on Fox Sports Southwest. On the Brewers on Fox Sports 1. And then Baseball Night in America on Fox as Mike Trout and the Angels take on the Rangers. Our MLB doubleheader begins Saturday at 2:30 p.m. Central. Well, the Rangers with runners at the corners and just 1 out here in the 7th inning, making some noise. Zach Wheeler is finished for the day, and the veteran left-hander Dana Eveland has come on to replace him.
Eveland's been throwing the ball pretty well. 1 run in his last 11 2/3 innings. This will be his 12th game. Great ERA, 1.42. Right-hand hitters are 3 for 24. Lefties are 3 for 20. So no one's doing anything against him this year.
Dana Eveland, who you see a lot of sliders from. Better than half the pitches he throws are going to be sliders. Facing Shin-Soo Choo. The first pitch sails wide for ball 1.
You can see why that pitch would be tough on a left-hander.
Yeah.
Evidently, it's been tough on right-hand hitters, too.
Choo, a first inning double. Since then has grounded out and struck out. And that ball coming right at his right shoulder. Choo ducking out of the way, and it broke back to the middle of the plate. I would imagine you'd probably keep telling yourself that ball is going to break, it's going to break, it's going to break, and still not believe it.
Yeah, you might tell yourself that, but you're still getting out of the way.
Another one, that one catches the outside corner. It's 1-2. Always that possibility that you're wrong one time. I'll give you a field level view of that Dana Eveland sidearm delivery. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Choo able to check his swing. And the count evens now at 2-2. Eveland had his contract purchased from AAA Las Vegas back on the 1st of June. Nods in agreement, and he is ready to go. The 2-2 pitch. Got him swinging. That is out number 2, and that's going to be the only hitter that Evelyn is asked to face. Here's Terry Collins back out of the dugout again.
You saw the sliders you were talking about, Buzz, and you can see how difficult it with those sweeping pitches would be for a left-hand hitter to hit, especially if you haven't seen it before.
Well, Evelyn gets the strikeout. He is finished after a third of an inning. He will depart. Runner still at first and third. There are now 2 outs. And the Rangers trying to sustain their comeback attempt here in the 7th inning. A new pitcher will be coming in. We'll take a timeout, tell you all about him when we come back on Fox Sports Southwest. Airport, and will be making their way over there to head back to the Metroplex. But first things first, they have some makeup to do here at Citi Field. Vic Black, the 26-year-old out of Amarillo and Dallas Baptist University, is on for the second time in this series.
Well, he's got great numbers, and we saw him earlier in this series, and you can pretty much see why he's got excellent numbers. He's got a great arm. Threw the ball exceptionally well on Friday night. Rangers trying to get something going here. We've got a couple of men on with 2 outs, so it's going to take a 2-out rally, but that's pretty much what the Mets had in the first inning. Yep. They had 2 outs and a man on first in the first inning, and then got a double, a walk, a single, and a home run at the middle of the order coming up right now after all this.
Rangers have Carlos Pena over there at third, Michael Choice at first, and Elvis at the plate, 0 for 2 officially with a walk. First pitch from Black, that herky-jerky motion, and it's up high for ball 1. Black originally the property of the Pirates. Pittsburgh had him until they built him last year. He was in the deal that brought John Buck and Marlon Byrd from the Mets to the Pirates. Line drive to center field. Lagares just a couple of steps in and makes the catch. That will do it. Well, the Rangers had the opportunity, but they strand a couple. After 6.5, it's the Mets 6, the Rangers 1. And now please join all the folks at Citi Field and around the country pausing to honor America and those who fight for our freedoms with God Bless America.
We honor our great nation and all of the men and women who help keep us safe and free with the singing of God Bless America. Please welcome New York-based singer-songwriter Vanessa Rachi.
Oh.
7th inning. Now the Mets come to bat in the bottom of the 7th. It's time to reveal our AT&T fan photo pick of the day. And it's from Heather. And she looks a little flustered by the boomstick down there. Appreciate it. I don't think she wants anything to do with it. That's a good pick. Thank you, Heather, for sending that in. And folks, if you'd like to tweet your photo, it's hashtag Southwest Fan Photo, and we make a selection for every Rangers game that's telecast on Fox Sports Southwest this year. Jason Frazier out of the Ranger bullpen to take over here in the 7th inning.
Well, he'll be in his 36th ball game, and as we mentioned last half inning, it didn't start out well for Nick Tepesch. 5 runs in the first inning and well over 30 pitches. But on a day where there probably wasn't much in the way of a long man out in the Ranger bullpen, he then pitched well for 5 innings. Got through 6 innings. That was his job today, and only gave up 1 more run. Walks hurt Nick today. He walked 4 batters, 3 of them in the first inning. But again, he stretched out his outing to 6 innings and finished strong.
Well, here in the bottom of the 7th, we have Eric Young Jr. off the bench as a pinch hitter. Young, the switch hitter, up there from the left side of the plate against Jason Frazier. And he takes a strike to make it 2-1. Eric Young, 1 for 6 as a pinch hitter this year. He grounds it to the right side. Odor glides to his left. On to first. Young is retired. 1 gone. Back to the top of the order for Curtis Granderson. And as Granderson makes his way to home plate, let's head back to our studio for a Mazda game break with John Radigan. All right, John, thank you. Here it's a 6-1 Mets lead over the Rangers. Curtis Granderson at the plate for his 4th time this afternoon. He's 0 for 2 officially. Slide out and struck out. Walked to lead the game off, and that was part of that tough first inning for Nick Tepesch. Granderson reached, and then both Murphy and Wright were out on balls to center field. So he had 2 outs and a runner at first, and then Tom told you the rest of it. It was kind of a nightmarish 5-hitter streak that Tepesch went through. He did not retire any of them. Gave up a double, a couple of walks, a single, and a 3-run home run. And Granderson a little bit out in front of that, hit it about 80 feet foul. Just missed. Was up the 3rd deck and still going. Two and 1 the count. Jason Frazier the other night after had his 2nd rough outing of the road trip lamented that his changeup had not made the trip with him.
Forgot to pack it.
Yeah. Said it was just basically non-competitive is the way he put it. Jason came on the other night and gave up hits in the first 2 that he faced. He just missed low with that pitch. The count is full.
Well, that's obviously a major problem for a pitcher like Jason. It's major part of his repertoire, along with the 92, 93 mile an hour fastball. But if you get locked into your fastball, obviously the hitters have a much better chance.
Payoff pitch coming to Granderson. There's a line down the right side, but that will hook back into the seats again.
The guy in the yellow touched it first. He's going to pay for it.
Yeah.
People behind it. He softened the blow for the people behind him.
His shirt may be yellow, but his hands are now red.
Yeah, he's going to be feeling that one.
And shortly black and blue. Another 3-2 pitch is on the way. Anderson draws the walk. His second of the afternoon. How about this? If you're hungry right now, this is that looks pretty good.
Yeah, that looks real good.
City Field and some of the home cooked items out there, the Shake Shack. That's whipping up some burgers. I wasn't hungry until I saw that. A 1-on, 1-out, Daniel Murphy, 0 for 3 here this afternoon. He has flied out to all 3 fields. He lashes the first pitch back and out of play, 0-1. Murphy now hitting at .292 with 7 home runs and 34 driven in. Frazier okays the sign. And a line drive to the gap in left center. That's going to plug the gap, go all the way to the wall. Granderson being waved around third. Here comes the throw from Elvis. It is not in time. An RBI double by Daniel Murphy, and the Mets extend their lead. It's now 7-1.
Well, Granderson still runs really well. Watched him run the bases. He scored in the first inning on a double. It's going to be tough to have any chance to get him on the relay throw home. He stayed in great shape over the years.
Daniel Murphy with the double has driven in his 35th run of the year. He is now at second. Still with 1 out. David Wright for his 4th at bat of the afternoon. It's out of play to the right. Looking at the opposing third baseman, Mets have a pretty good third baseman in their own right. You see Adrian Beltre's numbers on the left. How about David Wright numbers? Not too far behind. This goes back to 2004. Beltre first, Wright second in hits. He takes low and outside. And you go down to home runs. Beltre third, Wright fourth, RBI. Beltre third, Wright second. Pretty good comparison between 2 great third sackers. At the knees for a strike. It's now 1-2.
Wright's had 5 years where he's driven in 100 runs. The most was 2008. That's the most home runs he ever hit either. 42 doubles, 33 home runs, 124 RBIs, and hit .302.
Other than that, didn't have much going for him.
That was a pretty good year.
I would hope. 2-2 the count now. And you can understand why the Mets were on edge a little bit about the shoulder injury that he had, for fear that he might be gone longer than just the 7 days that he eventually ended up being out. They can ill afford to lose him for an extended period. Aaron Pareda, Ranger left-hander, loosening in that bullpen. Bottom of the 7th inning. They have 1 out. Daniel Murphy, the runner at second base, facing Jason Frazier. Right-hander okays the sign. Ground ball right between his legs. They're going to go to third, and the tag is applied to the sliding Daniel Murphy. Rougned Odor read that play extremely quick, and he made the throw where Beltre could handle it. And Adrian able to slap the tag on a very surprised Daniel Murphy.
Yeah, that was a nice play. What happened to Murphy on that play was he couldn't really go right off the bat because he thought the pitcher might catch the ball. So that slight hesitation made it possible for RUBEN to come in and make the throw to third base and get the out. A very heads-up play by the young second baseman.
Well, Mike Maddox out to talk for a moment to Jason Frazier. Jason had to feel like a croquet wicket going right between his feet. Turned out all right, though. That was the important thing. David Wright now at first base with 2 away. Lucas DUDA, the first baseman, is coming up to swing the bat. DUDA 1 out of 2 today. That was that RBI double back in the first inning. Came around to score very quickly thereafter. Also walked and struck out. Again, the Rangers into the exaggerated overshift. 3 players on the right side of the diamond. Elvis close enough from the bag, so if there's a stolen base attempt, he can cover. And DUDA swings through a fastball. It's 0-1. DUDA currently hitting at .253. Frazier setting the signs. He is set. Line drive to right. Rios started in, has to back up a little bit and makes the catch. And that'll do it. The Mets add on a run. They get a run on a hit and strand one. We're going to the 8th inning in New York. It's the Mets 7 and the Rangers 1.
Seven to 1. This does wrap up a 7-game Western. Seven-game. I'm trying to do the math in my head. 7-game East Coast road trip. The team heads back tomorrow to open up a 7-game homestand before they hit the All-Star break. The only guy hotter than ADRIAN BELTRE these days, Jose Altuve, brings his .338 average, which leads the American League into Globe Life Park in Arlington. Meantime, Elvis Andrus looking like he is.
Well, we get Emily's microphone situation squared around here in just a second and hear the rest from her. Now we go to the top of the 8th inning, and Alex Rios to start things off, and he will be facing the 4th different pitcher of the afternoon for the Mets. It's Gonzalez Herman. Alex 0 for 3 today, a couple of ground outs and a strikeout. Pitch just outside for ball one.
I saw Herman last night. He gets about a strikeout an inning. 26 innings, 25 strikeouts. He has a pretty good slider.
That ball is pounded to left field. Going back, NIEUWENHUIS is at the wall. Goodbye.
Probably wishes he threw his slider right there. That fastball got turned around.
Alex Rios with his 4th home run of the year and his first since back in May. It is now a 7-2 Mets lead. For Rios, that ends a 45-game drought. It's the 4th longest home run drought of his career. And he did it in style, too. That ball jumped out of here in a hurry.
Yeah, Alex is a guy you expect when the season starts to be right between 18 maybe and 22 home runs. So to be this far into the season and only have 3 is a little bit of a power outage. It's nice to see him back on the board with a home run. Fastball inside part of the plate. Alex knows it's gone. He just wants to see where it lands. It landed pretty far back.
The second Ranger home run of the day. Unfortunately, they've both been solo shots. Rangers now multiple home runs in 3 straight games, and that, a couple of years ago, that wouldn't have been a big deal.
No.
This year, it's a big deal. After he fouls it off. Rangers now with 64 home runs as a team. They came in the next to last, or next to the fewest, I should say, in the American League in home runs. 4th fewest in all of baseball. Two and one. And the strike evens the count. BELTRE has struck out, grounded out, and flied out today. Down to 331 with the average, and he's going to go right back up as that ball is lashed to right field, a base hit.
And Herman might want to go back to his breaking ball. Fastball's getting turned around. Had a little bit of movement on it. Unfortunately for Herman, that movement brought it from the outside part of the plate right to the middle of the plate.
Yeah. Not quite as much what he's throwing, but where he's throwing it is a bit of a problem.
That's a good point.
25,213 on hand for this Sunday afternoon contest. Leonis Martin rips one to deep right. Back is Granderson. That ball is gone. Leonis Martin with his 4th home run of the year. And the Rangers making some noise here in the 8th inning. It's now a 7-4 ball game.
Well, those home runs can turn the game around in a hurry. That's a pretty good 8th inning so far for the Rangers. Home run, line shot, single, and a home run. Been a while since Martin's hit a home run too. Actually, I don't have the slightest idea when he hit his last home run. I just know it hasn't been the last couple of days. That one got out of here in a hurry too.
2 home runs the inning and an emergency conference on the mound.
Emergency conference to get someone else warmed up out in the bullpen.
Let Anthony Recker's ears stop ringing. Poor catcher back there having all that contact sound. The home run, single, home run. 7-4 ball game. And here's Robinson Chirinos, who had a solo home run of his own back in the 4th. Chirinos 1 for 3, and that batting average now at 253 for the Ranger catcher. Herman misses low for ball 1. Right-hander's next pitch. It's now 2-0. Herman, 26-year-old from the Dominican Republic. His major league debut last year had 29 appearances for the Mets. He's 1-2 with a 3.93 ERA. Last year, though, he only gave up 1 home run in 34 innings. This year, teams figuring him out a little bit better. Studying the signs, now the right-hander is ready to go. And misses low and in. 3-1. Just pulling the trigger a hair too early.
Jumped on the same kind of pitch that Rios hit. One of those sinkers that sunk up and in instead of down and away where he might have wanted it to be.
That's not a real good place for a sinker.
That's pretty much the same place he threw the sinker to Alex Rios.
3-2. That is Luke foul.
Careful.
Herman now has given up 6 home runs in 27 innings of work this year. It's starting to turn against him just a bit. Three and 2 with nobody out. Rangers are a couple of runners short of having the tying run come to the plate. Herman set, another 3-2. Got him swinging. Went upstairs, and Chirinos expanding his zone a little bit. Couldn't make contact. That's out number 1.
Yeah, a little bit high. Some good swings in that at bat. He just pulled several balls hard foul and then chased one a little bit up and out of the strike zone.
Urban now will try and deal with Carlos Pena. Pena doubled his last time up, and no, he will not deal with Carlos Pena as Harry Collins out of the Mets dugout, a purposeful walk to the mound. He's going to make a pitching change with 1 out and nobody on. 3 runs across for the Rangers in this inning, all of them off Gonzalez Herman. And he is finished after his work here in the 8th inning. Oh, another pitching change underway here at Citi Field in New York. Rangers have cut the lead to 7-4 Mets. We'll be back with more right after this on Fox Sports Southwest. Live streaming sports service is celebrating 12 years. Join the millions of subscribers and watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. Visit TexasRangers.com for details. Rangers celebrating a little bit here in the 8th inning. They have added 3 runs to their tallies and now trail 7-4. Juris Familia, hard throwing right-hander, on now to replace Herman.
I've seen him in this series as well. Good opponent's batting average 222. A lot of games, almost half the Met games. Great opponent's batting average. He's been tough to hit. 224.
First pitch to Carlos Pena is outside from Familia. Pena doubled to center field his last time up. He drove it over the head of Lagares up there in straightaway center. Carlos, his second double of this series. Also walked today. Familia's next pitch. And the count evens now at a ball and a strike. Rangers have out hit the Mets this afternoon 9-6. With the Mets capitalizing on the wildness in the first inning of Nick Tepesch. Plated 5 runs on 3 hits in the first, and also 3 walks. That, to this point, is the difference in the ballgame. The 1-1 pitch. Only player over there on that side is the third baseman, and David Wright takes care of Pena's ground ball. That is out number 2. And will bring up Rougned Odor.
Tried to go against the shift. A lot of room out there. Only one defensive player, but he hit it right at him.
So 2 out, bases empty. Odor 0 for 3 today. A couple of fly balls to center and also a ground ball to third. Outfield playing Odor just about, I should say the infield just about straight away. Outfield is shifted around to the left side. See the right fielder Granderson about 105 feet off that right field line. Chris Jimenez has grabbed a bat to come out into the on-deck circles. The pitcher spot due up next. 1-0 pitch. And that's going to slice back into the crowd down the left side. Ranger fan brought the glove. Nice going. Put that to good use.
Boy, he took it right away from the guy behind him.
That's a gold glove play.
Yeah, I'm thinking that guy was going to miss it anyway in his pair of hands.
Line to left, toward the line in a hurry. Nieuwenhuis can't get it. It's a fair ball. Up against the sidewall, so into second. The stand-up 2-out double is Rougned Odor.
The ball just kept slicing and slicing away from Nieuwenhuis. Nieuwenhuis, a pretty good athlete, big-time football player growing up as a kid. He couldn't handle this one. Rougned sliced it right down the line. He gave it a good try, diving up against the wall. Hits fair. Karam's off the wall, ends up as a double. So the Rangers trying to get some more here in the 8th inning if they can.
And Chris Jimenez, who you saw in the on-deck circle now, is making his way to home plate. Jimenez hitting at .293. No home runs, 10 driven in. Chris had the start here on Friday night as he was catching Yu Darvish. Went 0 for 4, but did have an RBI in that game. 1 ball, no strikes.
The Rangers haven't been pinch hitting quite as well lately as they were earlier in the year, but still as a team they're batting .300 pinch hitting, 15 for 50.
Ron Washington's club not really ideally suited for the National League style of play, as far as having a lot of pinch hitters that are used to doing that. Got a bench of Jimenez and Michael Choice, to get two guys that have come off as pinch hitters. And the other one's Daniel Robertson, Adam Rosales, and Donnie Murphy. 1 ball, 1 strike. The count to Jimenez. Familia, a check of second. Misses inside. It's 2-1. Familia, a 24-year-old, working for Terry Collins' club. Familia out of the Dominican Republic. Signed as a non-drafted free agent by the Mets back in 2007. The breaking ball in, and it's 2-2. Good, sharp, quick breaking slider. Squinting in to see if he can get the signs from Anthony Recker. Now the 2-2 pitch. Good job by Jimenez to check his swing on that sharp breaker. 3-2, and Recker going to go out and have a little chat with Familia. If Jimenez is able to get aboard, the Rangers would have the tying run coming to the plate. The person of the leadoff man, Shin-Soo Choo. Familia ready, and now time called. And Jimenez wasn't quite ready. 3-2 with 2 outs. Familia set. The check of Odor. Got him swinging. That fastball up there at 98. And Jimenez couldn't quite catch up. Well, the Rangers get 3 runs on 4 hits. A couple of home runs in the inning. Rios and Leonis Martin going yard against the Mets. After 7.5, it's now the Mets 7 and the Rangers 4. Here's the Rangers cutting into the Astro lead, but still trailing by 3 as the Mets come up here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and they will face a new Rangers pitcher. It'll be the left-hander Aaron Pareda. First pitch by Pareda, and Kirk Nieuwenhuis takes the strike. Defensive change, Chris Gimenez, who pinch hit in the pitcher spot, stays in the game to take over at first. Carlos Pena out of the game, so Pareda hitting in the 7th spot in the batting order. As Ron Washington, in effect, made a double switch. Nieuwenhuis, a solo home run in the 6th inning. Is 1 for 2 officially today. Pareda's pitch is a bit low. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pareda, the 6'6" left-hander. There this afternoon. 27 years old, out of the northern part of California. Pitch fouled back. It's still a ball and 2 strikes. Pareda worked in the first game here on Friday night. The 3rd inning, gave up a walk, and that walker came around to score. Nieuwenhuis chopping that pitch foul. 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
Aaron had a great game the other day. He faced 4 hitters, 1 1/3, and struck out all 4 of them.
Down at Oriole Park in Camden Yards.
Before we got here. Orioles find themselves a game in front of Toronto right now, and they're beating the Red Sox today. Baltimore is 5-1. Toronto, I think, is facing Jeff Samardzija today. His Oakland.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Interesting to follow that.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Nieuwenhuis.
Toronto had it going there for a while, but they've fallen on some hard times, just like Detroit did a while back.
Yeah, that pitch just off the outside corner. The count has gone full. Nieuwenhuis sitting 5th in the Mets order, to be followed by Juan Lagares, the center fielder. Pareda bent over at the waist, taking the signs in from Robinson Chirinos. Now the payoff pitch. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. It's going to be ball 4.
He did a nice job of laying off that pitch. It definitely wasn't a strike, but it's one of those pitches, 3 balls and 2 strikes. You're trying to guard the plate up there against a tough left-hander who's throwing 95 miles an hour, and he gives you that big breaking ball. And Nieuwenhuis is able to lay off it. Started his swing, but didn't follow through with it.
And Ron Washington, a slow walk out to the mound, and he's going to make a pitching change. Pareda was asked to come in just to face the left-hander Nieuwenhuis. Ended up giving up the walk, and that's going to do it for Pareda. So with Lagares coming on, he wants the right-hander. Looks like Neftali Feliz is coming on for the 2nd time in this series. We'll take another timeout. We're back after this on Fox Sports Southwest. Leadoff walk to Nieuwenhuis. Ron Washington has brought in Neftali Feliz for the second outing since being recalled from AAA Round Rock.
Well, Neffy threw the ball really well a couple of nights ago. He threw 42 pitches. He walked the first 2 batters he faced. He was right around the plate with the pitches, but he did walk a couple. But then he came back, got out of that inning, pitched another strong inning. Had a good fastball, good velocity, good command with it. Threw in a few breaking balls, but for the most part, he established his fastball. And the Mets had a lot of swings and misses at it.
Nieuwenhuis going to second, and no chance for Chirinos to throw him out. Nieuwenhuis took off on first movement that he saw from Feliz, and Neftali a little slow getting the ball to home plate.
Well, as we've said, if you give him a chance, Robinson will throw you out, but he just didn't have a chance that time.
And the pitch was a strike to Lagares. Well, Lagares, the center fielder, is 1 for 3. Skies this one to right center field. Nieuwenhuis' tagging should be interesting. The catch is made. The throw coming to third. It's offline. And Nieuwenhuis able to advance to 90 feet. Looked like Leonis didn't quite get his body in the position he wanted to make the catch so he could throw quickly.
Had to catch the ball a little bit off to the left. Would have taken a perfect throw. Looks like Nieuwenhuis, again, he's a football player. He runs pretty well. Maybe with a perfect throw, he had a shot at him.
With Nieuwenhuis now at 3rd and 1 out. Anthony Recker, the catcher, is up there, and the Rangers will pull the infield all the way in. Recker, the 3-run home run in the first. 1 for 3 today, and takes a breaking ball from Feliz that bends over the inside corner. Record a .212 hitter. 3 home runs now, 13 runs driven in. Feliz trying to make sure that 13 stays right where it is. Just missed the outside corner. A ball and a strike. Feliz a long look in. Now he is ready. He drops another breaking ball in. 1-2.
Pretty nice pitch right on the outside corner, barely.
Feliz, and he showed this the other night too, on Friday night. A little better command and confidence in his breaking ball. Shallow center field. Leonis Martin making the catch. There will be no attempt by Nieuwenhuis to score on that one. That is out number 2, and a very big out for Feliz. Short pop fly in the center.
You know, this might be a game where Neffy doesn't feel like he's got his best fastball. Maybe we'll see to the next hitter. But he went in a different direction that time. He got Recker, went to his breaking ball, to his slider. Got him to pop it up to center field. Threw him several of them, and all of them were good pitches.
Well, with 2 outs now, the infield back at normal depth. Ruben Tejada, is 1 for 2 today. He's walked, doubled, and popped out. 237 the average for the Mets shortstop. 1 ball, no strikes. Neffy took over the closer's role down at AAA Round Rock the last couple of weeks and had 7 saves in a fairly short amount of time. Base hit over the leap of Andrus into center. In to score Nieuwenhuis, and a 2-out single by Tejada. That makes it an 8-4 Mets lead. just barely out of the reach of Elvis Andrus, who went up as high as he possibly could. But the RBI single for Tejada, his 18th RBI of the year, and it's a big one.
The stolen base turns out to be a big stolen base. That allowed him to go over to third and score, third on the fly ball, and then score on the little blooper in the left field.
Oh, with 2 outs now, Bobby Abreu, the veteran, is coming off the Mets bench to pinch hit. Batting for the pitcher's spot, and he takes a strike.
Talking about Abreu in last night's game, he's hit a lot better when he starts a game than he does as a pinch hitter. As a pinch hitter, he's only 2 for 24, so he's had a lot of opportunities, but it's been a tough role for him to adapt to this year.
The average overall at 277. Rip and a miss, looked like a straight changeup from Phillies.
Pretty good one.
0-2 the count.
And if he's come on, thrown 10 pitches, 8 of them strikes. I'd say the majority of the strikes have been off-speed pitches.
Yeah. Probably at least 8 off-speed pitches.
Yeah, the other night he came in and looked like his fastball was what he was really featuring.
Here's the fastball that misses up and away. 1-2 the count.
The night his fastball was anywhere from 92 to 96. He's thrown a couple of fastballs, 191, 188. So he might not have the same life on his fastball today, but it's nice that he's been able to go to something else.
Abreu waiting for the 1-2 pitch. Looks like a changeup. Floated outside. 2-2. Abreu taking his time getting back in. He has Ruben Tejada, the runner at first base with 2 outs. A run across here in the Mets' 8th inning. In the dirt, and the count is now full. So as Bobby Abreu has so often done, he works the count from 0-2 to 3-2. With 2 outs, Jimenez will play behind Tejada. And Tejada, of course, will be off and moving with the pitch from Phillies. Payoff pitch. Got him to roll over on a ground ball to second. And that'll do it. Side retired, but the Mets come up with a run on 1 hit, and they leave 1. We're going to the 9th inning. Rangers coming up. They have some work to do, trailing 8-4. Is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. By AT&T UVerse TV. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PICK-ATT, mobilizing your world. And by your Texas Ford dealers. Take the EcoBoost Challenge to see why Ford is the best in Texas. A beautiful overhead look this afternoon at Citi Field. Rangers and Mets wrapping things up here this afternoon, this 3-game series, and we head to the 9th inning. Henry Mejia, the current closer for the Mets, is on the hill.
Well, he's actually started some games this year. From 60 innings, giving up about a hit per inning. Opponent's batting average .252. Just kind of average around the board, but he has 8 saves out of 9 opportunities.
Well, not a save situation for Mejia, with the Mets leading by 4 innings, or 4 runs, I should say, in the final inning. He will face the top of the Ranger order: Shin-Soo Choo, Elvis Andrus, and Alex Rios. Choo stepping in 1 for 4 today. He has doubled. That came back in the first inning. And since then has grounded out and a couple of times struck out. Mejia worked the 9th inning on Friday night here against the Rangers. Gave up a run on a walk and a hit. He fires a strike to Choo. Mejia back to the plate and drops in that breaking ball through the back door. No balls and 2 strikes. He is a 24-year-old from the Dominican Republic. Signed with the Mets back in 07. One ball and 2 strikes to Choo. And the 1-2 pitch. Try it again.
A pretty good fastball by Mejia. 94 miles an hour. Has about a strikeout per inning. A few too many walks, though. Over 4 walks per 9 innings. Generally, that doesn't translate as a closer, but maybe a lot of them came when he started games.
Choo again pounding one down off his front foot. The second time he's done that today, and we've got to be up in double figures in the last few weeks. That whole thing is just to be one big bruise. 1-2 still. Now 2-2. Mejia last year was on the disabled list a couple of times. Had some inflammation in his right elbow. Finally had a bone spur removed surgically. That was in September. That pitch bounces in. It runs the count full to Choo. Well, the Rangers need 3 base runners to bring the tying run to the plate. Choo trying to start it off by getting aboard. Elvis Andrus will follow. Mejia's payoff pitch. Left center field. Lagares back in front of the wall, against the wall, makes the catch. That ball carried pretty well, as Choo trying to drive it out to the 370 marker. And Juan Lagares up against the pads made the grab.
That's one of those balls. Shin-Soo hits a lot of balls like this. High fly balls to left field that off the bat, they look like they're outs, and then they just keep going and going. They won in Baltimore the other day. It turned out to be a home run to left center field. And he's hit a number of balls like that this year for home runs. That one didn't carry quite far enough, but it came pretty close. Well hit ball.
It didn't have that sound that it was going to carry that far either. That's what tricked me. Now here's Elvis. First pitch is low to him. Andrus 0 for 3 with a walk today. Well, Elvis now that batting average currently at .269. David Wright, the third baseman, playing up just at the cut of the grass. And Elvis a chopper out towards short. 2 gone. The Rangers down to their last out now, and Alex Rios will try and extend this 9th inning. Rios hit a long home run to left field his last time up. He is 1 for 4 today. That home run is first, as we mentioned, in 45 games. Average at .304. RBI total up to 38. But his first pitch to Rios. 1 ball, no strikes. Well, he originally came up to the Mets in 2010. He was a 21-year-old at that time. I think that a 20-year-old. Appeared in 33 ball games. 3 of those were starts. He came back again in 2012 for a brief foray. Drops that breaking ball in. And during the 2012 season started experiencing the elbow discomfort, which carried through to the next year, 2013. 1-1 the count to Rios. Now 1-2. Crowd at Citi Field, mostly on their feet. 1-2 pitch, got him swinging. Well, the Rangers go quietly in the 9th inning. 1-2-3 at the hands of Henry Mejia. And the Mets continue their mastery over the Rangers as they win their 4th consecutive series. The final here this afternoon, the Mets 8 and the Rangers 4. The Rangers now will return home to take on the Astros and the Angels prior to the All-Star break. Henry Mejia
would have thought that was a 1-run game with the bases loaded.
Got excited.
That's not even a save.
But it was a strikeout.
I like his enthusiasm, though.
He must have had himself in the strikeout pool. Well, Mejia gets the job done. He closes the door. The Rangers go down to defeat for the 6th time in the 7 games on this road trip. We'll take a break and come back to Citi Field to wrap things up right after this on Fox Sports Southwest.